there's so much to say about the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite 5G. I mean, they send these media reviewer kits, and this one seems modest compared to the OnePlus 10 Pro, but obviously it's nearly a third of the price. So as you open it, well, this is like one of those Russian dolls because there's a box inside the box. When you actually pluck this one out, this is the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite. It's a 5G phone. Is OnePlus's most affordable phone yet. Okay, initial impressions, as soon as you hold this phone and you've unboxed it, it doesn't really look or feel that premium. From a distance it does, but then you know that they've turned things down a notch. Even if you compare it to its elder sibling, which is the OnePlus Nord CE2, which is just a few thousand rupees more than this. And that's going to be a huge part of the verdict of this phone. It feels all right, but I'll tell you what, this back polycarbonate sort of finish, it looks nice, but it doesn't feel that nice to hold. These massive, well, this triple camera setup is great to look at, but what's really missing is an ultra-wide camera. So if you look at this rear camera module, you'll see this is a 64 megapixel primary sensor. And yes, it has EIS and it looks all right. Then there's also a depth assist camera, which is a 2 megapixel camera that they've given you, and then a macro lens. Now, when you're talking about zoom, it gives you 1x to 6x, but the whole point is that in 2022, when there's so many Chinese brands vying for this space, which is the sub 20,000 rupee market, you don't have an ultra-wide camera on your phone. I think that would put a lot of people off. But even then, let's see what kind of photos this phone can actually take. Look, you can see some of the photos and the shots that we've taken on this phone, and you realize that a lot of them seem well overexposed, but they do seem a little better than the previous rendition of the Nord CE2 sometimes. And well, in daylight, the phone does fantastically well, but of course, at this price point, which I'm telling you is quite a showstopper, it is quite decent and a bang for your buck. But there's one thing that this one has really missed out on apart from the ultra-wide camera, which is the display. Look, if you really want to use your phone as a content consumption monster, maybe this is not the phone for you because it comes with an LCD screen. Yes, it has a 120Hz refresh rate, but even at this price point, there's several budget brands out there who are actually giving you an AMOLED display, and that might make a difference to a lot of us, especially when you're watching like Netflix content or Amazon Prime content on a phone like this or on any of your smartphones or even a YouTube video. You can actually, well, sacrifice on the refresh rate. Maybe go for a 90Hz phone. You know, stuff like that works before. It's worked for OnePlus as well. They've given you 120Hz, so we want to see how that works in terms of battery life, but they've given you an LCD display. One thing which I found quite interesting is when you look at displays, now a lot of brands are trying to hide, well, this pixel, the camera, the selfie camera, so to speak. But over here, they've made it a lot more prominent. Maybe that's done deliberately, but otherwise the display in terms of viewing angles is fine. The phone has a 6.56-inch display, which means it is a massive and is not that easy to hold if you have small hands. Now under the hood, this comes with a Snapdragon 695, which is a chipset we've seen on a lot of budget smartphones. And to be honest with you, it's great because it supports 5G. And largely, if you're buying a budget phone, it does the job. It's smooth when you're using it, very few bugs. And if you actually update as soon as you get the phone, out of the box, it comes on Android 12 or Oxygen 12 in terms of their interpretation. But I don't, as someone who's loved OnePlus phones over the years, want to call this Oxygen OS, because as soon as you update to 12.1 on their software updates, it starts looking so much like ColorOS, which is Oppo's operating system. Well, now it's time for the verdict. Now, if you look at this phone, well, how much would you spend on a phone like this, right? Maybe you'd spend 20,000, 30,000. But what if I told you that you can get this phone for under 20,000 rupees? You go on the OnePlus website, use a particular credit card, and you can get this phone down to maybe 18,500 rupees, maybe even lesser if you've got a great cashback scheme, if you're buying this off Amazon or some other portal. So this phone, if you're buying it for someone or a loved one at your place, and you're getting this phone for less than 20,000 rupees, you say, hey, my budget was 20,000 rupees, so what do? Well, we clearly had a delivery by a Harry Potter owl halfway through the show, and then you got these OnePlus Nord Buds, which means that the company is actually entering the affordable TWS earbud space. Well, Well, if you have a look at them, they look super premium. As soon as you pluck them out of this and put them in your ear, they're comfortable to wear. And there's something about the OnePlus ecosystem which we're hoping builds over time, and they've been working on it for a while. And automatically, the phone gives you an alert where it's sort of connected and you know exactly, well, what your battery is like. Pretty much similar to what the AirPods experience is like. And to be very honest, I know I started off the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite review with a very different perspective and ended it on the price. I'm going to start this the other way around. If you talk about the Nord Buds, these guys, in a nutshell, for under 3,000 rupees, and I'm guessing it gets a lot cheaper as well if you use some of the schemes and cashbacks, these are a true bang for your buck. These guys have really upped their game when it comes to the OnePlus Nord Buds. Yes, they lack noise cancellation. You get around 7 hours of battery on a single charge. You put it back in the case and they fit in seamlessly into the case with this magnetic sort of clasp. And you'll get, I think, another 30 hours of charge and you're good to go. It mentions right and left. The design is clean, it's good, it's shut, and then it fits in your pocket. So I'll just break this all down for you in this particular segment. The OnePlus Nord Buds and the new OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite. I would really consider recommending them as a couple. Individually, I don't know. If you need a phone which runs all right and you don't really care about your OS, you don't really care about anything, and somewhere at the back of your head you trust the company OnePlus, then it's an okay phone. I wouldn't say it's an amazing phone, but for the price, it's a good phone to buy. And then you have a budget of 20,000 rupees and you have all these cashbacks on your credit cards and whatnot, and you look at the OnePlus Buds and you pair them together, and for 21,000 rupees, if you're getting a truly wireless experience with decent bass and decent charge and a phone which is affordable, does come from the OnePlus stable for whatever it's worth, and still has Oxygen OS, then this is a definite buy.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.